laundry. Shoes still fresh, outside unused. World keeps spinning, I stay confused. Staring at the doorknob like it's art. Debating exit in my heart.
引きこもり for over 50 years with zero time outside. Raised in a dysfunctional home. Estranged from family and friends. Living with autism spectrum trait. Never fitting the frame. Even after 20 years in religion, it never became a home. Misunderstood, distanced, quietly pushed out. I stood outside the circle of salvation, and I grew tired of carrying the illusion of life's meaning. The effort to keep believing was what exhausted me. Firstly, I was talking about how I've been struggling with my podcast name lately. I finally decided on one, but I'm trying something new with the podcast. It didn't go well, and then another problem came up. And not just that, I started thinking again and about whether doing a multilingual show is actually okay. I've always had doubt about it. When I looked it up, there were some downsides. Some studies say that too. Maybe I wasn't sure what to do. Of course, I can do it only in English. I split the episode by language, so I thought that would be fine. But apparently, it's not that simple, and I don't rarely understand the reason. And people say the update frequency drops, but that's not a problem for me. It's not like the quality drops. It's not like I can update. It's not like the one language gets stuck. If that's the case, then what's the issue? I don't know what's the real cause it. I don't know what's the real cause is. Or why people say two language is bad. I really don't get it. But when I look back, there are people doing bilingual shows, and those shows seem to be increasing. And honestly, podcasts barely get listened to in Japan anyway. So doing English too is obviously better. I don't think anyone can say one language is definitely better. So I've been researching this thoroughly. I can split the show into two different podcasts. I already decided I'm doing everything in one show. And then something happened. I deleted data I wasn't supposed to delete. I thought I messed up, but it was still in the trash, so I could restore it. Later I realized something. Even if I couldn't restore it, it wouldn't have been a big deal. When I need something to be restored, it never works. When it doesn't matter, it works. When I want things to go wrong, they go right. When I want things to go right, they go wrong. Moments like this make me feel unlucky. I don't think I'm a super negative person, but sometimes I get anxious about things on a world level scale. Like, will podcasts or blogs become dated, not small things, big things. For example, I read that in the future, 1 out of 3 people in the US will be Hispanic and speak Spanish. Then I think, if fewer people speak English, won't podcast listeners decrease? It's not that simple, but I had some concern, and I was looking into it. I think I talked about this before, but I was thinking about quitting English study. Instead, I thought about studying philosophy, but when I tried it, I got tired of it. I got tired it fast. I don't wanna learn deep academic stuff anyway. And doing something for the podcast never worked for me. I thought about putting "as I am" in English in the show name because people use that phrase a lot, but it has a self-love meaning, and I don't like that. Ichiro said something like this. He always had question in his head, and he never once forced himself to think positive. I must say, I've never tried to force myself to believe in myself. I still feel unsure. I don't like having extra time because then I start thinking, is there something I can do? So I try new things, but I always end up stopping again. I guess that's how it is. I didn't talk about this before, but I've been studying Spanish too. Sometimes I quit both English and Spanish. Sometimes I start recording again. Sometimes I think I should choose one. Sometimes I think I should quit both. Sometimes I think I should do both. I even thought maybe Indonesian would be better. I looked up which language is closest to Japanese pronunciation. Japanese grammar-wise, Spanish is hard, but pronunciation is close to Japanese. Italian and Spanish have similar sounds. I also looked at which countries have strong podcast market. Indonesia is growing fast, and a lot of people there are interested in Japan. The pronunciation is increasing too. Spanish is different. Like I said earlier, I checked again and found out Hispanic people in the US do speak English. So that part is fine. And podcast listeners in Spanish-speaking countries are increasing too. But people who are interested in hikikomori usually want stories from their own country, not Japan. And recently the podcast world is changing, so I kind of gave up on that idea. I thought Spanish-speaking countries would be my audience, but in Spain there are already a lot of hikikomori podcasts, and it's becoming popular there. They even have basic income during COVID. I like Spanish. It's frustrating, but maybe I should focus on English. I had a really hard time deciding. Spanish pronunciation is super easy for Japanese people. It's surprising how easy it is. English pronunciation is one of the hardest for Japanese people. Along with the Chinese and Russian, people say English pronunciation is hard, but they are not true. It's not hard. It's basically impossible for Japanese people. But English is a global language, and I'm using it for my podcast. So it's frustrating. It's not just me. Over 100 million Japanese people feel the same frustration, but still it both bothered me. I'm recording this at night. Like I said, Spanish pronunciation is easy. So it breaks the idea that language equal suffering. Even if my English pronunciation doesn't improve, my attention gets spread out. So I don't worry as much. It stopped me from putting everything on English. It stopped my perfectionism from exploding. But when I quit Spanish, the difficulty of English comes back all at once. It felt raw again, and then my perfectionism comes back too. Back in high school, there was this girl in my class. We ended up not getting along later. But when she saw me in the hallway, she said something like, "Oh, it's Kuraki," almost like she was seeing an idol. I still don't know. I still don't know why she said it like that. I think about it sometimes. It's 3 a.m. right now. When someone talks about their belief or their life philosophy, I never feel good about it because most of the time it's something they heard somewhere else. It's not original. Everyone says the same things. So I wonder, is that really your philosophy? Two things surprised me today. There are idols who read literary and novels. So she read a lot of them and has a favorite author. But when she talks on TV, she makes big mistakes. And she does it often. Today I was listening to a podcast with script writer, and the other person kept correcting her. I think I heard more than 30 corrections. She's a writer too. So maybe when people switch into talking mode, their brain change. I don't know. Writing and speaking use different parts of the brain, I guess. Today I told my parent I don't wanna eat in front of the fish tank. Then I remembered a ramen shop with 90% humidity. It was really old and the humidity was crazy, but the food was good. Next topic. There are an idol who said that if she shows her true self and fans criticize her, it's hurt too much. It hurts too much. Some people say that, but I've never thought that way. I also, like I said earlier, the phrase as I am gets trying a self-love, and I don't like that. And honestly, there is no real self. There's no solid me. Trying to find your true self just makes life harder. And even if you try to be not your true self, it's the same thing. But at the same time, everything I talk about on my podcast comes from my natural state, but it's more of a feeling thing. And this connects to something else. Usually, there's no right answer in life. People say it depends on the person, but for me, sometimes there is a right answer because I have not so many limits. There are choices I can't take. It's not good or bad. It's just how I am. Maybe that's why I've been able to live, despite being detective. My trait kinda force decision. Now for something that's happened earlier. I told my podcast they could delete the Spanish post, but from the start the conversation got messy, and it got worse from there. I I said from now on, there won't be any post with ES written on them. So it's fine. Then she said, does that mean the old post might also have ES in them? But I was clearly talking about the new post, not the old ones. And I said the phone and computer files should be fine. But she kept mixing it up. Then she said, oh, I thought you meant delete everything with EN on it. If you listen to this story, you can tell the misunderstanding is happening. Inside the misunderstanding, it's not just one mistake. It's two mistakes stuck together. And when that happened, she starts correcting the wrong part. And then she think she understood stand, but she don't. It's a weird group. If it were just one mistake, it wouldn't be a big deal. But when two things get mixed up, it becomes impossible. She don't take the things as they are. They rewrite the story in her head to make herself look right. She kept saying things like, oh, I get it now, but she didn't. It's always like this. It's not about understanding the whole story. It's just a simple thing they're getting wrong. I was shocked. We were talking about the post that were already uploaded. And suddenly she said, I thought all the old new were EN, even though I clearly said yes. And she said yes themselves earlier. She forgot what she said 40 seconds ago and replaced it with something convenient. Then she said, "Oh, I understand. I understand now, but I don't know what she understood, and I know she'll misunderstand again later. Not just one part, and the whole thing." I said again, the phone and computer files probably don't have ES, and she still didn't say yes, no, or I was wrong. I was wrong. She just said something buggy again. Her logic was so messy that I can't even remember all of it. It was too much. I'm exhausted. But since I'm hikomori and can't leave the house, I have no one else to talk to. So I just have to deal with it. This morning I woke up early and worked on the podcast description. I wasted 30 minutes. It didn't work. I had decided on the same name yesterday, but now I'm starting over again. It's not greed. It's more like obsession. It's tough. Yesterday, an idol said she can eat 50 plates of sushi. She's still in high school. Hearing stuff like that feels good. Japanese people value modesty, and I do too. But at the same time, I feel like everything in my life and halfway, not because I'm half-hearted. I'm actually perfectionist. When I took an IQ test, unlike a school test, it showed my strengths and weakness clearly. It felt great. Walking through the underground walkway in Sapporo after that test was one of the happiest moments of my life. But during my hikomori years, I never had that kind of joy, not the kind of happiness that makes you forget what you are doing, not the kind of excitement you look back on later. Nothing like that for more than 10 years. Thank you for listening. Please follow this program. Second.